Many moons ago, in the last Panzer I episode, we fitted out the hydraulic drive system, test ran the engine, and worked on the muffler and rear of the vehicle. It's taken a lot longer than we expected, but we've finally received our leaf springs and can put our suspension units together. With that done, we can take the vehicle off the stands it's currently on and see if all that hard work and careful designing has paid off.
Hi, I'm Kurt from Oz Armour and welcome to Workshop Wednesday.
While we've been waiting for the springs, Daryl has meticulously recreated the Mudu Guards. If you know your German tanks well, no doubt you're already furiously writing in the comments about the pattern of the sheet we've used. Early war German tanks used this special patterned aluminium sheeting, and this was all we had left of it. We searched high and low, but with the time remaining to us to get the project finished, we decided to use checker plate. If we come across any in the future, it shouldn't be too hard to change over. Besides that, Daryl handmade all the latches and other details you can see, and you cannot deny he has done a splendid job. The turret was the first original part we acquired for this project, and gave us the inspiration to build out the rest of the tank, and it's not hard to see why. It's a beautiful piece, and very complete, not to mention incredibly rare. After sandblasting and priming, the boys need to get in there and have a good look at it to work out what to do next.
It's been hard to get under there because this has been on display in the museum, but instead of like a turret lock, there seem to be some clamps on the side. One here, one closer to the camera. They look like they've been bent up. This has just been on display. We haven't really done much with this until now. We're unable to find a turret ring, so what I've had to do is just design something that will be fit for purpose. The bottom ring here, as you can see, is what actually bolts down to the superstructure. Then we've got a packer ring that'll lift us up to what the original height would have been, as if there was a turret ring there. It's going to be a bit of an effort to try and fit that ring, so we're going to turn the turret over, get a good access into it.
That ring was designed a while ago.
Yeah, it was designed a while ago and my old brain is hurting. I can't remember what I've done.
Once again, we looked everywhere for a turret ring and even examined some more modern options, but nothing we found would fit. It will be fixed in the forward position for now, but as always, the boys' work is easily able to be modified in the future if anything becomes available.
This is the first time we get to see a good look at the inside of it, because normally we're struggling to look up through everything.
Ducking underneath.
Yeah, so this is good.
See, I'm assuming it's meant to go in this groove.
Oh, it's hitting here.
Yeah.
So that's why it's not going over. It's one of those pull-out things. Would have pulled out and locked in.
Yeah, that would be for locking that gun in when they're just driving along, stop it from rattling up and down.
We could have a ring that wide there, but then that wouldn't match onto the other bit, would it?
So what we're going to do is we're just going to take all these original pieces off for now, and we've got to alter this ring to suit, and then once the ring's suited and fitted to the actual turret, then we can start putting pieces back on.
That's on there.
It's moving.
Is it?
Yeah. Just wants to stay on. There we go. So I'm just going to try and knock these tab washers over, because I've got to get it from this angle here to knock them off.
Yeah.
See, this one here is going to be knocked from there. It's hard to really knock it out like near and possible. So what we might do is we might just melt those off, because they're just really fine tab washers.
Can't be seized if it's a liquid.
That's exactly it. Beautiful. There we go. Alright. Oh, no. Very, very lucky. I felt like it was about to shear off.
Ooh.
There we go. Made a bit of a mess. Take all this stuff out.
We had to change the plan because when I first designed or drew this up, I didn't take into account the elevation lock. We've just had to do a little bit of modification, cut out around it, because we don't want to take out this original stuff. We want to keep as much original as we can. What we're just going to do is now position it on the upper superstructure. We've had to take a little cut out as well, out of the inner rings, just to allow for this lock. And see how we've got the turret rigged up now? It may look odd that we've got it on a big angle, but we've got a nice flat edge along the bottom. And we're going to use that to sit on here, and that way I can actually look in from the rear and make sure we don't damage that lock mechanism.
So now we know the turret will fit, and just like clockwork, our leaf springs finally arrived.
What do we have here, Daryl?
Mate, what we've been waiting for, springs. Look at those babies. Very happy to see them.
They're all perfect.
Well, we hope so.
Pristine. So they're the originals, right?
They're the original gear, what we have. We didn't want to run the risk that one of the two of them might break, so we've got all brand new ones made. So
Gorgeous.
by a local company up on the table here, it's not far from us. So, yeah.
Gee, we've waited long enough, eh?
Yeah, we have indeed. You can see there's a bolt hole here, and that bolt there just drops into it. Right, specially designed tool to go under here. Keep it at the right height. Now I won't over tighten these because we've still got to try and line up to get our axle through on the end. Right. So let's see if we can struggle with the other one as well.
And that's it. Oh, with the U-bolt now.
Yeah, just the U-bolt. You can see one's higher than the other, but I can adjust, pull down on the U-bolt here, tighten it up, and then that'll pull this down to line them up. Because we've still got to put an axle through. This is where the second axle runs through to hold the wheel. So the wheel's in here and one in here. If these are two different lengths or out a couple of mil, the wheel will be running out of parallel. So we're just going to, once we put the wheels on, we're doing a final adjustment on them. So now I'll swing it around the right way, hopefully. It's pretty tight, this one.
There we are.
That's the way they go. You can see now how the bump stop works. With the spring will come up if it hits anything and work on that bump stopper. We need 10 wheels for this vehicle and we had 11, but they weren't the world's best wheels and we're limited. You're just not going to find them anywhere. So you may see some strange things on them, like we've had to actually weld these in because they were missing part of the thread. Once we've got the bearings fitted, it actually weld in these locking rings. It's missing the shoulder that would have threaded into.
Yeah. Okay.
And we're limited to what we could get. Obviously, you know, they're not making these anymore. We don't have any oil seals in that. So that's why we're using nylon washers. And we only had one of these axles to get a rough idea on how it went. And it was blown apart too. And it's all damaged on the ends and that. So we've had to knock up them. This one on the opposite side we had to manufacture. And at the rear we had original ones. We had a couple of old springs, so we had to get the springs remade. That was an issue in itself, but we've got them now, so hopefully everything's going to come together.
Jesse was away for the week, but luckily Ron was in a bit of a lull with the Grant tank restoration and was able to give Daz a hand.
Do I need a hammer and a punching angle, or do you think I can slide it in? Well, you can take it out to start with and we'll try and line the hole up a bit better. Can you see?
Yeah, you're half a hole out. Now you're getting close. Yeah, 10 mil, that's it.
A spacer between the bearings. It's going to have to move up. Take it out so we can have a look. I'll get as close as I can before you put it in.
Stop. You want me to take it out and have a lower look?
No, yeah, I'll have a look from
It
here.
must be holding, it must be in a little bit.
Move it.
Nope. Damn in there. It's about as far as we're getting it.
Looking okay.
I've got my big hammer.
There you go. Right, it's through the bearing.
Yeah, just starting.
I'll just have to tie the threads up. If you start knocking yours through, everything should be lined up. You want more oil on that? Just bounce it back to the board.
Bouncing back, or is it going through that? I think this first bearing is the issue. Is it going through it slowly or what?
Well, it's moved me back here. I've seen it move here. No, it's still 135, even though it looked like it moved. Just give that a tap, a little tap. Yeah, no, just tap it.
So what are we encountering here, Daryl? What's happened?
We're encountering a bit of resistance.
So what does that mean?
It means we're struggling.
Yeah, these holes are...
We've been trying to hit it through, and I think the spacer, there's a spacer between the two bearings. It's catching on that, it's not riding up on the spacer. And I just want to hone out these housings here, just to take away any, we might have damaged the edges a bit, just trying to get it through.
Yeah.
We can get a shaft through from this side, but we can't get it back through the other way.
Yeah, with the wheel on.
Yeah, so...
I'll make more room.
Make a little bit more room.
Oh, look at that taper.
I might just do another little bit of an angle on the end, just to assist it riding in the... Right, that should be very nice there now.
Just wheel the wheel up on the wedge a bit more. Leave the swing arm where it is.
Hold on, is it hitting on the... Is it hitting in there?
We decided to leave that wheel for now and move on. It turned out there was just a little bit of weld in the way that was easily ground back.
level now.
I like to pre-fit things so we don't run into this type of thing.
This is the pre-fit.
Yeah.
The fitting, the fitting pre-fit.
The pre-fit. Out, yep. There's an in and an out. Up or down?
Oh, the suspension unit's got to, you've got to go up by heaps.
Up.
No, that's down.
Well, make up your
So
mind. You want me to go
you've got
up or down?
You've got to go up by heaps.
That's going down.
It's going up. I see the jack going up from here.
I think he's talking about the jack going up by heaps.
Well, I said you've got to go up. Your spaces drop down. It might be what's hitting.
Pass me that, is that, hold on. Yeah. Move it. Stop for a second. All right, give it 2 or 3 more hits. Stop. I don't want to smash the edge of that. This is where we're going to run into. Right, try hit that. Stop.
That's coming through.
Right, give that a hit. Stop. Just put some pressure on it. How much more have you got to come through? Oh yeah. Just give it gentle taps. Yep.
Synchronized bashing.
That's it.
Wow. One on.
Just watch fingers and hands. Right.
Wow, looks good.
Gotta be happy with getting at least one on today.
A few days later, and Daryl got all of the wheels on. There's still the shock absorbers to make, but we'll get onto them in the next episode. Considering we didn't have shop drawings or any kind of design literature to help make all this running gear, you really have to admire the work Daryl and Jesse have done to make all this basically from scratch.
You want to take that in? Yeah. There you go, there. Right, yeah. Beautiful. Got to make sure that it clears all these, that we've got spaces down here. Let's just say every day we're closer to the end. These U-bolts that hold the springs in, if we over tighten them one way or the other, we'll push the wheel off centre. See it moving across or back. So what we're going to do now is very delicately adjust it. You see the wheel slightly move across. See the wheel moving in?
Yeah, yep.
Well, we want to be about 184. So I've got to go through and adjust. See, there's no pressure on that now. So I'll have to tighten up the ones inside. And that should bring the wheel back out. So we're just going to go along and just carefully adjust it. Then check them to make sure they're all in line, and it should be good to go.
Should be.
Should be.
All the wheels are on. Now it's time to put the suspension units to the test by taking it off the stands and putting the full weight of the superstructure and turret on. We still have to make the front shock absorbers, but if the vehicle is level and close to the ground clearance that we need, this will be a big win for us. So far, so good.
Just not slipping in yet. Now it is.
The suspension units are holding, and we've got the correct ground clearance. All in all, a huge success. We still have a few finishing touches to go, but that's all we have time for today. Join us next Wednesday for your weekly tank restoration fix. So until then, I'm Kurt from Oz Armour, and I'll see you on the next one.